Okay, Year 2s, writing time, and we've been working all week with procedural text and working out steps and making sure we've got them in the correct order. So we now can work on a recipe for our ANZAC biscuits, which tomorrow we are going to make together, which I'm so excited about and really looking forward to it. And of course, on Saturday, it's ANZAC Day, so that will be just in time ready for the ANZAC Day celebrations. Okay, when we are thinking about a procedural text and what we are going to be doing or making, we need to look at the goal, the outcome. What will the outcome be? And I know you've been looking at that this week with the steps. What do you want the person to finally do? Whether it be washing the dishes like Annabelle did, or making a coffee like Matilda did, or Xander, I think, made a peanut butter and jam sandwich, and Harper, I think, made a cup of tea with her dad. So things like that. So you need to think about what the outcome is. What do you want to achieve? Well, we know our outcome for, or goal, we could call it goal or outcome, same thing, is to make delicious ANZAC biscuits to celebrate with our family. So you could write that down, to make, excuse my messy writing because I'm trying to write quickly so you don't have to be on the computer screen for too long, to make delicious ANZAC biscuits for our families. If you would like to write a different goal, that is perfectly fine. You're probably wondering why I put ANZAC in capital letters like that. We are going to discuss that on ANZAC Day, so just hold that thought. If you want to find out why we do that, you can let me know on the portfolio. That could be a bit of investigating that you could do before Friday. All right, so after we've got our goal, of course, we can't make anything if we don't have the correct ingredients or the correct needs. Now, in the PowerPoint on the next slide, you will see that the recipe is already written out for you, and that's great. That's really good. You don't have to do any of the thinking because it's done for you. And that's usually the way when you are doing a recipe. Somebody has usually written it out for you. Some people like to create their own recipes, and that's perfectly fine as well. But this recipe has already been written out for us. But you are going to copy that into your writing books. So you will always have an ANZAC Day recipe, an ANZAC biscuit recipe. Plus, I want you to look at the way they've set it out and write it in a similar way, or the same way. So ingredients, of course, are in order. So they're not numbered in the recipe, but I'm just going to put the numbers down here so you can see that I want you to write the ingredients as a list. Okay, so if I was to pick up my recipe and go to the supermarket, I could use it as a shopping list, and I could go, all right, so I need flour, I need coconut, I need rolled oats, and I could look at the recipe and use that as a shopping list. Writing things in a list like this makes it easier for us to keep track of what we're up to. So if I printed out the recipe, I could, say it says plain flour at the top, and I had that ready, I could go tick, I've got that ready. So writing it in a list is easier for us to see and keep track of where we're going, okay? After the ingredients on the slide, you will see that there is the word method. Now, the method means the way we do it, the steps, all the steps. And you can see the steps again are in a list. And it's got step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and I've checked they're all in order because we can't put the biscuits into the oven until we make the biscuits. So all of the steps are in order, and that's what we will follow on Friday when we make our ANZAC biscuits together, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to put the next slide up on your computer or iPad, whatever you're using. Get your writing books out. Do your beautiful heading, ANZAC biscuits. Write down the goal and then I want you to copy that recipe into your writing books. You don't need to do ingredients and method over on the side. That's just how I had to fit it onto the screen. You can do ingredients and then method underneath, like that, so it fits in better. You might need to go on to the next page, and that is perfectly fine. So don't do it next to it because it'll all be squashed up and messy. Just do the ingredients first and then method underneath. I'm looking for super duper handwriting because you are not having to think about what to write this time. You are just copying it down. So it's a little bit like a handwriting lesson as well, because we're just copying the work down. So we're focusing on our handwriting. These biscuits apparently are going to be delicious. So let's hope that tomorrow when we make them and use our recipe that we're writing down now, that we can create amazing biscuits tomorrow and achieve our goal. So, writing books out, number 1. Number 2, get the slide up of the ANZAC biscuits. No, that's number 2. Number 3, copy down the heading. Then number 4, write down the goal, and you write the goal, and then the rest of it is just copying. The most important thing I want you to focus on when you are copying is making sure you have your ingredients in a list and your steps underneath that in a list, and your handwriting is beautiful. Okay, have some fun, and I'm really looking forward to collecting all of my ingredients today in preparation for our cooking tomorrow. Have a great time.